All right, so today we're going to get a pretty authentic unboxing of a scroll saw, the Win 16-inch scroll saw. I've never used a scroll saw, don't know much about them. So I've seen a couple videos. I have a little general idea of what to expect, but it was long enough ago that, you know, it's not fresh in my memory. So I'm kind of going to go in this more or less blind. We'll see how much of this I can figure out without using instructions and whatnot. If I get confused or lost, I have to read a little bit. I will. I know there's going to be a few of you guys out there. Somebody's going to comment about how they read instructions every time before ever using a tool, and that's the safe way to do it and stuff. But, you know, the rest of us, we try to figure it out before we resort to those instructions. That's just how it is. Let's go ahead and dive in. Let's get this thing out of the box. Instruction manual. Yeah, hopefully we don't mess with that. Styrofoam. We don't hear as much about styrofoam these days, do we? Killing the ozone. In fact, I think I read recently the ozone's making a comeback. I don't know. Alright, so this is what this guy looks like in the box. Bag of tools. It does come with some blades. In fact, it looks like there's a blade already installed. Alright. Nothing else in there. This plastic piece, it says it's used for packaging only, so I thought it might be a part of the saw, but apparently not. So, this thing comes put together, basically, it looks like. I don't know how much assembly I may have. This was tucked under. This is just the light, to my understanding. It's flexible. So we have this air hose, and it looks pretty self-explanatory to me that it goes right there. You know what else I do? Is I look at pictures. If it's like a challenge. It's like, do not read the instructions. That's definitely where the air hose goes. Although it would seem it's going to fit on there rather snug. So there we go. All right, so there's that. This is moving a lot. Okay, there's some tension on it now. How? That. Hold it up for you guys. There's on off. Again, I do not have this plugged in, obviously. Power to lock. Oh. Okay, there's that. Speed, high, low. This is gonna, okay, maybe this is where so we're at 0 degrees now. So that screws down. That's really simple and straightforward. I'm guessing this port right here is to eject sawdust. Here's where you can see the air hose. So air, I don't know, through the motion of the motor or whatnot, but I'm guessing it blows through here and then blows right on where you're working. Is that? Okay, this. Oh yeah, height, because, you know, the depth of your wood. Does it come with an Allen wrench? Yes. Bag of tools, we have 2 extra blades, 1 blade installed. I have no idea what all these little clips are for. That's probably where the instructions will come in handy. But man, I want to try to avoid doing that. All kinds of little extra clips. I don't know if they're extra pieces or if I'm actually supposed to use them right now. What was I getting ready to do? I forgot. Oh yeah. So Allen key. I don't know what's up with this Allen key. Am I doing something wrong? I bet I am. Yeah, I'll probably have to read. Stinking reading. Thought it would be as simple as unscrewing that, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Blade tension. That's this right here. Ah! So we've... I'm not sure you guys can see or not. So when that's down, blade. So push that down, take it out, set it in, take that out of there, flip that, and now tighten that. Now we have some tension going on. So let's try to take it out again, take that Allen wrench completely out. So maybe that's more for like making some kind of permanent adjustments, or we flip this piece up. Uh-oh. Yeah, I definitely have not got this figured out right now. Okay. I'm probably messing things up. So, similar to the top here, where our blade just slides back right there, the bottom. Okay, I flipped it up. So you see that the bottom is sitting down there too. It's pushed right there. All right, it seems really straightforward at this point, but I'm going to pause. I'm going to get away for a minute. I am going to read the instructions on changing the blade just to make sure that blade's not going to come flying off on me, because I don't know if I was tightening it too tight or if I'm doing everything right and I'm just a little uncertain, but yeah, I'm going to check that out. Other than that, it seems pretty straightforward. Okay, so I don't know if I won or lost, because basically I had the gist of it. I read all those instructions, so I kind of feel like I lost because, you know, it's almost like a challenge to not read the instructions. But, I mean, whatever. I have a little better idea now, not really by much. The instructions really break down everything. They show you, you know, check all of the settings, make sure that the plate's level. It shows you how to take the plate off. It says you can to replace the blade, but I don't think that's necessary at all. I didn't notice on when I originally started. This is super straightforward and simple. 2 little knobs here, boom, boom, helps you get access. So yeah, you go up here, just the blade tension, I loosened it pretty much all the way up, and then you can really push real easily. The tension's all the way off. Of course, I want to make sure it's all the way back. Front's all the way good. So now the blade's on. I mean, it was before, but now I have an understanding. You can absolutely change that. There's plenty of space without taking that table off. So now you flip that down and you just start screwing to tighten this down. There is no setting. It said tighten it to whatever. And then it talked about twanging with a C note, basically. Yeah, sorry. No idea there. I know I was in music and band in like high school 20-something years ago, but I have no idea what a C note sounds like. So, anyways, I just tightened that to a reasonable amount. Maybe that's not it because it's not twanging. Maybe we'll loosen it a little. So, something like that. It did say new blades might stretch out, so you might have to retighten it after a little bit. Loosen it a tiny bit more. We're going with that. I checked all the screws, tightened them, close this back up. You know, it does recommend, I don't do this a lot and I need to get better about it. I don't have any kind of like shop vacuum, well, you know, filtration system or whatever. But I did take my shop vac and stuck it in there, and I'm going to plug it in and turn it on while I'm working. So this is going to be noisy, but I mean, it's going to be noisy anyways, probably. So that's good to go. What else I did do, I keep forgetting everything. I went ahead and set that on, and I actually did need to adjust just a little bit. I had to just kind of pull it a little bit tighter. Why is that not? Is that where it's supposed to be? No, it wasn't. There we go. So yeah, my table wasn't level. Now it is. I'm ready to go. Ready to get to work. I am going to have to loosen this. What's going on? Okay, I tightened the screws and maybe that makes... There we go. It just had a lot of rigidity to it. You YouTube people make me feel so smart sometimes. I saw somebody else in one of these videos I was watching use painter's tape and put it down and then spray paint over top of that. And I'm like, that's a great idea. I must have just used too much of the spray paint. I'm going to begin, and try to be smart here. So I've got multiple spots that I will be starting in on. So I'm going to try and put several drill holes that are like where I start out at. So let's start at the very bottom one, just right here in the corner. Again, I've seen others on YouTube do this. I've never done it, so this is a representation of a first attempt rather than a guy that's done it a bunch of times and really has it figured out. This is copying what somebody else did. Because I find often people make things look real easy, and then I go for it, and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't as easy, at least for me, as it looked. But awesome. I didn't think I was working it that hard, but I just broke that drill bit. Small bits, I guess you gotta be awful careful, of course, and I wasn't. Whatever. It was an old one. I don't even know how long I've had it. So, anyways, I do need to make my holes a little wider because of that piece, the way the blade sits in there. So, you live and learn. I'm going to turn this off for a minute just so I can get myself ready. Once I get this hole, I'm going to get a larger bit, drill that out a little more, feed this through, and set this up, and then I will come back to you guys. Okay, I had to use a much larger drill bit than I thought to be able to fit this blade through the hole that I had drilled. Already, I feel like the design is smaller and more detailed than what I'm capable of doing, especially on a first attempt. So whatever, but let's get to work and at least get trying on it. All right, so my first little cut, my first piece here, definitely just trying to feel it out. I don't know. Just one thing is I had a hard time seeing that spray paint that I used, and so that was a little wonky, and I actually cut a lot farther than I needed to. There we go. So turning this piece, try to show you guys here. I was sitting here like this, and I just kind of kept moving backwards a little bit, and then just trimming a little bit so that it had room in there to spin around. So it wasn't terrible to do. As I said, I kept going down here on the bottom, and then I looked up, and I'm like, oh, look, I'm supposed to stop there. And now, actually, I'm seeing that going off of that one, what do you know? I shouldn't have even stopped there. I don't know if that spray paint faded out or what. So, all right, I'm going to time lapse. I'm going to move left forward, and I'm just going to concentrate on working here, guys. All right, guys, so today was all about playing around, unboxing, and busting out this Win 16-inch variable speed scroll saw. Never used a scroll saw in my life. first time experience, how easy was it to set up, how easy was it to use, how good am I, at least. Maybe you're technically more skilled in general, but very first attempt at stuff, all that good stuff. So out of the box, pretty much came ready to go. Even had a blade in. Works great. I love it. I could tell you this. This was what I did. I did kind of stop instead of trying to do all the detail and really keep going for today. One, I mean, I guess I could have cut just a straight line here and then stopped partially, but I didn't want to end up cutting this whole piece out, so I didn't cut there. I didn't cut the bottom one. I don't know, you know, maybe I could just cut and leave the corners. Of course, you can see where my drill hole was. So one thing is, the drill hole to get started on this stuff had to be much larger than I thought, and that wasn't even because of the blade itself. It's because the way the blade mounts in here. It's got those two little nubs that stick out, and you had to fit it through, of course. So I didn't think that this stencil I was using was that technical. It really wasn't, other than the stars. Not very big. So I think maybe doing some larger stuff, maybe I could do pretty decent right out the gates. I don't know. I feel like this is actually okay for a very first time. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be selling this or anything, but you know, okay looking. And what I did kind of impress me was the star. I just was like, this one is the only one. I kind of played around. You couldn't see the detail of the paint and the stencil. I couldn't necessarily see the star points anymore as I was scrolling. I just kind of was guessing and like, okay, let me just kind of move down just a tiny bit here and here and poke out a little bit from my drill hole. And, you know, there's that one. You almost got, well, you really, I mean, I can, looking on the backside, you see 5 points. And the others are just the drill holes. I did not, you know, this is obviously not, this is a practice piece of wood. This is a first time attempt. I'm like, okay, I get the idea. And it was taking a long time. So I wasn't going to keep going and try and do just take it out for all of those, however many stars that is. It's kind of a pain, you know. That's one thing of it. I would love to just have this. Maybe if I'm doing outside and like cutting out blocks of wood, because I just wanted to cut and just keep going. I was having fun. These larger pieces, they're not perfect, they're not great, but I was having a lot of fun with this. So, love it. Fun. Can't wait to go along and do some more. This is definitely a skill that is going to have to be, you know, grown and learned over time. At least for me. I'm not jumping in and doing great right out the gates. And the Win, W-E-N, the Win scroll saw, I like it. I don't have anything to compare by, but it worked good. It was simple. It's pretty straightforward, everything you see on here. I turned it up to high at one point. I think I was on a time lapse at that point. I'm not sure if I was or not. And it cuts nice on high. I just felt like having it somewhere in the middle, for me, not being very good at this, was easier to like keep my pace nice and slow and not let it run away from me. I don't know, guys. If you know tricks or stuff, I'm sure, you know, you got your drill hole here. I could really focus and like get on the outside and make those cuts instead of on the inside of it. Of course, then you would still have the inside nub. So I don't really know. There's definitely some skill going to be needed, but all in all, you know, just for playing around very first time, like, I'm okay with this. I mean, we all have varying skill levels, and I thought it was fun. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think of this saw if you have one. Again, I don't even compare off of, but I like it. So, and it was really easy to set up and get going. There you go. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.